Guys, I am doing a review on the 2024 Ford F-150 with the 2.7 EcoBoost. I'm typically a Toyota guy, so I'm not going to be too hard on them. I bought one, so it can't be too hard. But so far, my first impression on this truck is I actually like it a lot. I like the feel of it. I like the smooth ride. I will say in the very beginning when I first bought this truck, again, it's used, 18,000 miles on it, I was a little skeptical about the transmission. This had a new price tag on it when it was brand new for $68,000, and this was listed for $44,500, so I avoided the brand new prices. I think it might have been a lease. I've looked it over, kind of scrutinized it to see if it was like ever used as a work truck. It doesn't have any evidence that it was. It's the blacked out edition, so of course you pay a little bit more for that. It's an XLT, but as a new Ford owner realizes once they buy a Ford, is the XLT has 3 different packages under it, like the 300A, the 301A, the 302A. That I'm not a huge fan of, going from Toyota and GMC to Ford now, and I've owned some Dodges. I feel like that Ford kind of dropped the ball on a little bit. I feel like if you buy an XLT, it should have everything that an XLT offers. One thing it does not offer in an XLT, or at least I didn't see any that did, is vinyl or leather seats. Now this is a step up from the base level, which is just the XL, I believe. So I guess that is important to me because I use it as a work truck. And I am a lobsterman, so I get the smell of baits and stuff on cloth. So now I have to spend an extra $1,600 to put seat skins on this and basically turn cloth into leather or vinyl, depending on which is cheaper. So that way my bait juice doesn't seep into these seats and hurt my resale value in the future because it smells like rotten fish. Anyways, to move along, the XLT 301A package has power seats for the driver, but it's an 8-way, not the 10-way. So you actually still have to manually push your seats back, forward, and up. Not a big fan of that. Come on, really? You couldn't have just added the extra 2-way. Anyways, the passenger side has no power. It's all manual. Not a big fan of that either. Power windows, power locks. It's got this cool little shifter that if you push this button, it goes down. Now, I don't think that's really a feature that I would say, oh, I'm going to buy this truck for that feature alone. I think it was the Lariat model, I believe, has a fold-out computer kind of deck here where you can put a laptop. So it's like a work feature. So I think that was designed for it, and they just threw it in there and said, hey, it's kind of a cool talking point. I don't know. The back seat, absolutely love this. Now, in the previous truck I had, which was the 3.0 GMC Denali Baby Duramax, and the seats folded up as well, but it didn't offer like a flat surface like this. This is going to be handy for like taking the dogs to the vet where they can lay down and it's like flat for them. It does have under the seat storage. You can get trays and stuff to put in there so it's not like so ugly. Probably not going to do that. Both seats fold up. It's a split bench. I do like that. Pretty much the XLT in the back is lackluster. You got a charging port, you get a 400 max AC 120 volt plug-in, which that's kind of cool. And then the zone heating or air condition for this back seat. I would have, again, I'm used to my Denali, so I had heated seats back here and leather, and the famous hidden storage in the seats that GMC put right here. I did like that feature, but it's not a deal breaker. What I'm most impressed about this truck is the entertainment screens there, information screens. This, to me, so far, from what I've seen with Toyotas, the new Tundras and the new Chevys, I feel like Ford kind of has the edge on these, even over Dodge. I guess it's preference. It's a 12-inch screen here, and then you get a nice screen here that shows your vehicle. Big fan of that. I will say that the different drive modes in this is what really sells it for me. So let me kind of give you a tour. This is normal day driving. Your truck is blue in this. Okay. The pedal feels like you're driving a normal truck. A little bit, peppy. You got tow mode that turns your truck gray with a trailer. I think that's cool. And then you get your different gauges up top to let you know your RPMs. Sorry, I'm breathing heavy. It's humid today. Eco mode. This turns your truck green, and I will say that it completely changes how your pedal feels. Now, I have driven other vehicles, including my wife's 2026 Toyota Grand Highlander that has different driving modes. And I feel like in most of the vehicles I've ever driven that has this feature, they're very close. So if you're driving an Eco and Sport and Normal, they all feel very similar. Maybe you can notice a little bit of difference in her Sport mode. But in the Ford F-150, it is night and day different from Eco mode to Sport mode, which Sport mode is all the way on this dial right here, all the way left. It turns your truck red. I can barely touch the gas, and I can immediately feel the difference. So I thought that was pretty impressive how Ford did that. They put like each mode, they're miles apart different, from Eco to Normal, from Normal to Sport. And then my favorite feature, I guess, would be the slippery mode. So you get all these graphics, and then in slippery mode, it shifts you automatically to 4 high and gives you like a snowing or raining look on it. And hold on one second, I'm just breaking out of that. So it also gives you the snow after it's done settling down. Of course, you can't see it. I apologize. Anyways, if I switched over to terrain, it gives you like a rocky kind of terrain look on the screen. You get all kinds of different gauges and degrees on where your truck is if you're climbing rocks or anything, which I'll never be doing. But it also gives you these tire treads, so you get precision, predictability when it comes to where your truck's gonna go, and it turns when you turn your wheel. Huge fan of that. So if you're ever in a narrow spot and you're like, okay, I need to get through here and I need to know where I'm going, this helps you so much, because you just drive where the treads are, and that's where your truck's gonna be. So switching back to normal driving mode, the next feature that I thought Ford nailed it out of the park is the amount of camera views. You have the front, and you've got 3 different cameras there. You've got another front that kind of gives you a wide screen there. You've got your bird's eye. You've got your rear. You've got your trailer. And then you've got your side to side, so I can see on both sides of my vehicle. Then they offer an option for you to get a plug-in camera that you can run on your trailer and put on the backside of your trailer. So you have a different mode for that, which I'll hit. It'll say camera intended for trailer only. That is brilliant. So now I can go get a camera and then plug it in to where my trailer hitch or my trailer plug-in goes, and I can actually hook up a camera on the back of my trailer so I can see behind my trailer. That was genius. I don't know if the new GMCs or Chevys do that, but I was pretty impressed with that. Now, this is another crazy feature. This is called the Pro Trailer. So basically you have a trailer on the back. Now I have a lot of experience with trailers, so I already know which direction I need to turn my wheel in order for my trailer to turn. But if you don't, you hit this and you choose the direction on where you want your trailer to go. You take your hands off the wheel and it does it for you. So you just control the gas and the brake, and it will get you to where you need to go. That is brilliant, especially if my wife's hauling the snowmobile trailer or anything like that. So that is a feature I would 100% recommend. You also get a 12-volt plug-in and another 120 volt here, which is also you do in the bed. So you have a total of 3 120 volt AC plugins. That's pretty cool. I think my Denali had the same amount, and it was a Denali. So I was pretty happy with that. You got your plugins down there. Again, the XLT 302A comes with a phone charger there. I never really used mine in my Denali. I used the corded ones because I felt like the cord one was faster. So that's not a big deal for me. 2 cup holders right here. 2 cup holders right here. Big fan of that. Plus you got a cup holder over there for a smaller can or whatever. Both sides. I will commend Ford for giving so much storage. You've got your side bin here, you've got a bin here, and then you got your tray on your door. Then you got one right here. Then you got a glove box here that you hit this button and it opens. You got a tray up here, and you have a key tray on your big center console. So you can lock it, which I love because we leave our stuff in our trucks when we go out to haul. Again, this feature, pretty useless. So anyways, that part of the Ford feels really good. The steering wheel feels very, very sturdy. I do like the steering wheel. Another thing you do not get, which I kind of wish I had known when I bought this and knew more about Fords and what the next package offered, because I'm a big fan of adaptive cruise control, because there are trips that I make to New York to pick up fishing equipment, or Massachusetts, Rhode Island. I would have liked to have that radar cruise control, so that way I didn't have to hit my brakes and restart my cruise control. That's on the 302A. I got lane keeping assist, but it's still not the radar, the Blues Cruise or whatever, where you can also let go of the wheel on the interstate and the truck drives for you. I think that will be in my next Ford if I do stick with them. Also, with the blacked out edition, you get a different type of material up here, which the whole truck looks sleek. I will say that for a work truck, I've got a pretty handsome work truck. I was looking at the Avalanche color that they had in there, which my wife loved, and she's like, you got to get that one. I think she likes this one as well, but the Avalanche color was pretty awesome, and that was the 302A. Another thing that they didn't give you in the 301A is the trailer brake. Now, I do have trailer brakes on my trap trailer. Have I used them ever? No. My truck can handle it, stop it, and I've never had a problem with it. So it's not a deal breaker, but it's also an add-on you can buy through Ford. So don't think, there's some options in here that you can actually upgrade through Ford. Yes, it sucks to have to buy it, but if you want to kind of create your own perfect truck, it might be worth it. I don't know if I'm actually going to buy it. Probably not. Like I said, I didn't really use my other one. I am not going to use this truck to haul anything heavy, like heavy equipment or anything like that, so I don't think I'll ever need it. So that's just something that I feel like it should have been in here since it has the towing package. Another thing, the auto stop. Now, my Duramax had it, and thank God it did, because it's annoying when you go to a stoplight and your vehicle shuts off and then turns back on. You may like it, I never did. You have an option to shut it off, thank God. I just wish it was a more permanent option. You got to do it every time that you start your vehicle. That's annoying. Again, the AC feels amazing. It's got the max AC and the regular AC. Another thing, the 302A and the XLT comes with heated seats. The 301A does not. However, since I'm going through this company, through the dealership that does the seat skins, they offer the ability to add heated and ventilated seats to the truck. So again, another expensive add-on once you buy your truck if you do go with the 301A. but you're probably better off going with the 302A if that's a must-have. With me, I'm gonna upgrade to leather, and it's only like $400 or $500 extra to add heated seats on it. I'm just gonna do it. Anyways, so that's it. Another thing you don't get is the adjustable pedals. Don't care. Not a big feature for me. I would rather have power seats in the passenger side than pretty much anything I've talked about that I'm missing. Lastly, the tailgate. Ford, what did you do? Okay, this is so stupid and archaic. It doesn't have like a shock, so you gotta slowly lower it or it will slam down. God, where are we? This is 2026. They're charging me $100 to get a shock, so that way my tailgate shuts down slowly. I just feel like every truck, no matter what base model, whatever, put it on the truck. Like, come on, $100. It's probably costing you 40 or 30 for a little tiny shock that I can add to this, so that way my tailgate doesn't slam down. Not a big fan of that. I felt like Ford kind of like nickels and dimes you that way. Like, okay, you're going to pay for every little option on the truck after paying $60,000 plus for a new one. Again, this was $68,000 base. Would I pay it? Hell no. Sorry, Ford. You're not getting, it better have more than this to buy it. And your dependability ratings aren't that good where I'm going to pay Toyota prices. So that's where I'm at with this truck. I do like it. It drives incredible. I will say when I first pulled it off the lot, the transmission, I could feel it shifting and hunting for gears, like what the reviews said online. I will give them credit. The truck learned me already, and now I don't feel it. I felt like in the first 100 miles, the truck, I could feel it shifting the gears. And now I don't. It's like very, very smooth like butter. So I know they fixed a few things on the new transmissions on the 10-speed, like the drum and the bushing fix. So I made sure to get out of the 23 and 22, 21 years. I think they updated in August of 23. But anyways, she shifts a lot better now than I did when I first bought it. So I thought that was just more technology, which begs to question, how reliable is that going to be the more the truck runs on, more of a software technology configuration than old school. Now, many of you guys are probably going to be like, okay, this is your first Ford. Don't get ahead of yourself. Well, it kind of is from a dealership, but I'm in the business of buying trucks that need a few things, fixing them up, and flipping them. Not on like a business level, just a little side gig that we do. Maybe 2 or 3 trucks a year. But here's the 3.5 EcoBoost that I bought this year, and the 5.0 Coyote. Now, I have seat time in both. In comparison, the 5.0, from what I've read online, is one of Ford's most dependable engines. It feels like it. The newer ones, I heard, that have better torque, better horsepower, which is awesome. Some oil consumption issues here and there, but nothing too bad. This truck feels like it's probably going to outlast every vehicle other than the Highlander in the dooryard. The 5.0 is definitely the real deal. This is a 2011, but it feels like a 5.3. The durable 5.3s that GMC and Chevy put out. It's right on that same line, I guess, where it's just going to last. Good work truck. Now, the 3.5 EcoBoost. The 3.5 EcoBoost is the bigger brother to the 2.7 EcoBoost, but there is a difference. So the block on the 2.7, which many people thought was originally supposed to be a mini diesel, it wasn't. Ford just used the 6.7 Power Stroke iron, the forged iron there, material to build the 2.7, since they were going to put a turbo on it and everything. So the 3.5 EcoBoost does not have that. So I feel like more people are running into problems with longevity. I wouldn't discourage you from buying one. This is a 2014, so this is a problematic year, but honestly, I love driving that truck as good as the 2.7. It's so smooth when it's running right. I did have to replace a spark plug and a coil pack and four-wheel drive actuators, which that's a whole different topic. But so far, that 3.5 EcoBoost feels like a V8. Feels like it has enough get up and go, and it feels like it could tow 10,000, 15,000 pounds. It probably, I think it's 13,000 pounds, but it feels like you're driving a truck. So I was surprised to have a little V6 feel like V8 power. And I will say that the 3.5 EcoBoost is all of that. You're just not going to get the longevity that 2.7 offers, which is okay if you take care of it from what I've read and change your oil when you should be good with the 3.5. But back to the 2.7. Now, I've always been a Tundra guy, and I will say that the Tundras are still my favorite truck brand. I don't like to be brand loyal, but I would say that they've given me the most history of reliability out of all the trucks. And I started with the 22RE. I've had the 4.7, I've had the 2.7 Tacoma, I've had the 5.7, several of the 5.7s, and I'm just an overall fan. So I'm hoping this 2.7 EcoBoost gives me a different view of Ford. I think that's important. I'm a big fan of the 3.0 Duramax, as long as you avoid the year 2020, 21s, 22s, 23s, all the way up through. I would probably stick there. I think the 2020 was the problematic year, and yes, I ran into that. My truck was in the shop for 3 months last year, 2 months this year, with a new turbo at 110,000 miles. It's a wear item. I don't hold it against them. But I'm definitely glad to be away from that, because I need something that I can rely on. So I didn't have the budget to buy a newer 23, 24 Duramax with the 3.0 Duramax. Just wasn't in the cards. I wanted to get away from the diesel prices and the DEF system. So that's why I landed on the 2.7 Turbo EcoBoost. I did have 3 months seat time with the 2.7 Turbo Max that GMC offers. I will say that felt like a weed whacker. I am not a huge fan of that. And maybe it was the trim level that I was riding. It was a 2025 2.7 Turbo Max. Now, let me rephrase that. It's a 4-cylinder. So for a 4-cylinder, that truck's badass. But when you're riding a 6-cylinder 2.7, you can automatically feel the difference in the ride and the power and everything like that. If I were to put the 2.7 Turbo Max against the 2.7 EcoBoost, which again, this is just my opinion, you may have your own, I would definitely choose the 2.7 EcoBoost every single day of the week. The truck went, the 2.7 Turbo Max went, like, it was a speedy little thing, but I just didn't feel like I had the power. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to drive. Again, it could have been the trim level. It was a base model. I'm sure that the upgraded shocks and the SLTs and stuff like that probably had a better drive, but I just feel like the 2.7 felt completely different, like not even close. That shocked me, because when I first started researching this, I'm like, it's going to be like the 2.7 Turbo Max. How could it not be? It's not. Ford knocked it out of the park with this guy right here. Completely night and day. Even pushing down in sport mode. Sport mode will blow your mind in this truck. You will not feel like you're in a V6. Feels like you're in a V10 at times. Like, it's fast. Other than that, I will be posting another review once I get like 20,000 miles on this bad boy, and I'll keep you in the loop on any like problems I'm having with it. Again, I'm not getting paid for these videos through Ford or anything like that, so I'm just trying to give you guys my review on it so far. I have a review on my 3.0 Duramax that I had. I don't know if you guys watched it, but I will be doing reviews on a lot of different cars that I buy and drive and own. So thank you guys for watching. It's a long video. I apologize. I hope this helps you.